Sometimes you don't find the cats that need help. Sometimes they find you, and they don't just ask for help, they plead for it. That's what happened on this day. It started with these two tiny kittens, just specks of fluff on the side of a busy path, doing something I'd never seen before. They were chasing people, not just meowing, but actively running after strangers, trying to get them to stop, to look down, to see them. It was like they were shouting, "Please, take us with you. We need a home." We were out doing our usual rounds, feeding the community cats, when we saw them, this little pair desperately trying to flag down anyone who passed. Thank goodness a couple of young men noticed them and scooped them up, their faces full of surprise and delight. We walked over as the kittens just melted into their arms, and we had to ask, "Are these your kittens?" They shook their heads no. They said they'd seen another cat, a mama cat, over by a place called Gate 2. They had to get to work, so they looked at us with these two little lives in their hands and asked if we could take them. Of course, we said yes. As they left, we were left with two tiny purring mysteries and a clue that led us to Gate 2. Near Gate 2, we found her, and the sight just broke my heart. There, huddled inside a dark, cold sewer drain, was a beautiful black and white cat, a cow cat. We soon learned her story from a man who had been watching over her. She was a mother, and she had just suffered an unimaginable loss. He told us he'd seen a hawk swoop down and snatch one of her babies right in front of her. In a panic, she'd moved her remaining kittens to the only place she thought was safe, this dark, damp drain. She had lost one baby, and she was terrified she was going to lose the rest. We had to get her out of there. We gently coaxed her out and put some food down on the ground. She was starving. As she ate, the man who'd told us her story stood nearby, his voice filled with regret. He'd had knee surgery just a few weeks before. He said he saw the hawk and threw a big rock at it, but he couldn't run to chase it away. He was so sorry he couldn't save her baby. It wasn't his fault, of course, but you could feel his pain. We knew right then we had to get this whole family home, but we had to do it carefully. For their safety, while we searched for the others, we tried to put the mama and the one kitten she had with her into a carrier. But her trauma was still too fresh. Her motherly instinct kicked in, and she saw us as a threat. She lashed out, trying to protect the only baby she had left. She probably thought we were trying to steal him, just like the hawk had. Her fear was palpable. So we had to change our approach. We had to show her we were here to help. We slowly offered her one of those soft, squeezable cat treats. She was so stressed, but her hunger and maybe a tiny spark of trust made her accept it. And in that moment, as she licked the treat, a little bit of that wall she'd built around her heart came down. It felt like a huge victory. With Mama and one kitten secured, it was time to find the others she'd hidden. We went to the areas she'd been in before, and my stomach just sunk. The sky was full of hawks circling, their sharp calls echoing in the air. This place was a minefield for tiny, helpless kittens. As we searched through the dense brush, we heard it, a faint, desperate meow. We asked some people nearby, and they pointed us in the right direction. And then it happened. Right in front of our eyes, a hawk dived down, its talons out, aimed right for a tiny kitten. It was a heart-stopping second, a blur of motion. But thank God, the hawk missed. It failed. We didn't hesitate. We rushed in and scooped up the terrified little one, shielding it with our bodies. We checked him all over, our hands shaking. Miraculously, he was completely unharmed, just scared. The thought of this mama cat losing another one of her babies, it was just too much to bear. We now had 2 of her kittens, but we knew there was still one more out there. We had to find him. We searched everywhere, calling softly, listening. Finally, another tiny meow led us to the last of her babies, hidden and crying for his mom. We gently brought him out, this poor little thing, and put him with his siblings. Their little family was almost whole again. We looked everywhere, but we never found the 5th kitten, the one the hawk took. That poor mama lost her baby forever. It's a sad reality of the work we do. You can't save them all, but you have to save the ones you can. We put her and her 4 surviving babies into the carrier. It was time to say goodbye to this dangerous place and start their new life. But what about the first 2 kittens, the ones who started this whole day? We went back to where we found them and started looking for their mom. And there, near a long hole in the ground, we saw her, a beautiful ginger cat, nervously peering out. She was watching the same hawks, probably too scared to come out and hunt for food for herself and her lost babies. We approached her slowly, offering a treat to show her we were friends. As she cautiously ate, a wave of relief washed over us. She was so hungry. While she ate, we asked a man sitting nearby if he'd seen her before. His story added another layer of tragedy to the day. He said he'd seen her with 4 kittens just a few days ago, but then some kids came to the park. While the mama was away, they grabbed one of her kittens and just ran off with it. He told us he tried to stop them, but they were too fast. Another mother, another lost baby, another senseless act of cruelty. It was critical we get her and her remaining children to safety. This park was no place for them. We now had the ginger mama and the 2 kittens from the beginning of the day. But the man said there were 4 kittens. That meant one was still missing. We continued our search, and behind a pile of rocks, we heard that familiar tiny meow. And there he was, the last one. This tiny ball of fluff just stared up at us, and seeing him safe brought so much joy to our hearts. We gave him a little treat, and he gobbled it down. He was clearly starving. And then the most wonderful thing happened. He finished his snack, walked right up to us, and started climbing up our pant leg, purring like a tiny motor. It was like he was saying, "Okay, you're my person now. Don't you leave me." It was time for the reunion. We brought the mama and all her babies together. We gave them a big, delicious meal, and they all dove in, eating so fast it was clear they hadn't had a proper meal in a long time. Watching them eat together, safe, their little family finally reunited, it's a scene that just warms you to your soul. We carefully packed both families into their own carriers. Their dangerous life in that park was over. Our first stop was the vet clinic. Every rescue gets a full checkup. The cow-cat mama was healthy, and her little one, who had a bit of an eye infection, got the treatment he needed. All the other kittens from both litters got a clean bill of health. From there, we took them home. Not just a house, but a home, our foster space, a safe haven where many other rescued cats and kittens were already living happy, peaceful lives. A safe, warm environment was waiting for them. We set up the cow-cat mama and her babies in a cozy spot, and you could just see the tension leave her body. She finally felt comfortable enough to relax and rest with her children. We gave the ginger mama and her 3 kittens their own private room so she could nurse them in peace. Seeing them happy in this new place, it was just so heartwarming. It didn't take long for the kittens' true personalities to shine through. Soon they were exploring, playing, and pouncing on everything in sight. Their playful mews filled the room with joy. We spent time playing with them, watching them chase toys and each other. Their happy, clumsy antics brought such huge smiles to our faces. They were exploring every corner, finding new fun places to nap. They were finally acting like kittens should, carefree and full of life. It's the best sign that they know they're safe and loved. Even though both mothers lost a sibling, the ones who remained were finally together, finally safe, ready to grow up and find their forever homes.